Jai Sri Krishna.
Jai Sri Krishna.
Today, I'd like to follow up on the last talk. We are still continuing the introduction to Bhagavad Gita. Last time we talked about Karam Bhumi. Anybody remember that? So Karam Bhumi has two meanings. Number one, the human body which has fully active antahkaran and all indriyas, senses, that is called Karam Bhumi. Because without that complete human body, you cannot perform the Karam. Because all of these are needed to initiate, conduct, and complete an action, which is called Karam. If we don't have all these, cannot even initiate. How do we initiate a Karam? By thought, thinking about it. And then conducting it through with the help of all other indriyas. We have to do that. If somebody's leg is cut off, we cannot do a lot of things. So it's very difficult to conduct a Karam. The second meaning of Karam Bhumi is where Karam needs to be performed to obtain yoga with Ishwar. What I mean is, what part, where do you perform the action? You know, you perform it through the body, but where? The center of the Karam Bhumi is in India. Now what about Ishwar? Ishwar is the state where there is no bondage, no rebirth. Bhagavan says in chapter 15, Shlok 6, what he says is that neither the sun nor the moon nor the fire can illuminate that supreme self-effulgent state. So that is a state, attaining to which they never return to the world. Yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. That is my supreme abode. So this is the state of moksha, from where there is no return, no birth or death cycle. Total freedom, total release of all the bondage. Now Devata, the entity worshipped by most humans, they are the powers of Ishwar, which remain in eternal bondage of the three gunas of Prakriti, also called Maya. So they are in the bond, they remain and act under the bondage of three gunas. Maya, which is also called Chid Brahma, is the primary Shakti, primary power of Ishwar. It is Maya and Devata who conduct the business of running the unlimited number of Brahmans, universes, innumerable universes, and Maya and all Devata run it. They have their own knowledge, which we call Gyan, pleasure, Sukh, powers. They have their own powers, Samarth, sovereignty, Aishwarya, and light, Prakash. However, all these attributes are limited in nature. For these Devatas, these attributes are of limited nature. Devatas have hierarchy which is based on their five attributes. How much light they have, how much prakash they have, how much samarth they have, how much gyan they have, how much sukh they have. So a very highly powerful entity is much more at ease, and he has different level of sukh. You see? The one at the bottom of the totem pole doesn't have that much sukh, less sukh. Their light is less. They can only be effective in a very limited area. Maya, having a maximum level of these attributes, controls and guides these activities of the other devtas. So everyone, other devta is acting under the control of and guidance of Maya, which is this supreme Shakti. Now a word about Ishwar. Ishwar also named as Krishna. This word comes from the word crush. If you look in the dictionary, the word crush, which means a plow or a farmer. So as a farmer prepares the field by cleaning and plowing the field prior to sowing the seed, similarly Ishwar prepares Jeev prior to sowing the seed of Gyan in him, because unless a person is ready, it's like any entrance exam. You have to pass an entrance exam to see that you are ready for a certain job or certain college degree, whatever. Same way, one has to be prepared to get Gyan. Unless you're prepared to get Gyan, there is no way you're going to get Gyan. And if you cannot get Gyan, not capable of getting Gyan, then Ishwar will not impart Gyan to you. Gyan is given only by Ishwar. Ishwar is the only one which has Gyan. For this, he manifests himself in this samsara through his own powers. What does Ishwar do? Ishwar acts like a farmer, creates the field in Jeev so he can sow the seed of Gyan. Unless the field is prepared properly, the plant will not grow and germinate, not even germinate. So for this he manifests. Now Jeev, who is in the state of ignorance, avidya, does have right to Devata or to Ishwar. He has got the right, he can even go to Devata's bhakti or he can also get Ishwar. So in Sansar there are two pathways for Jeev available to him. One takes him to Devata. Devata phal. Devata only gives phal, the fruit of the action. So the actions done for Devata gave the fruit of the action which is there from Devata. And the other takes to Ishwar. These two paths are like two rivers. And they are flowing parallel to each other. They never cross the path of the other. One never crosses the path of the other. The river on the path of Devata is made of three gunas, is full of three gunas of the Prakriti. Whereas that of Ishwar is nirgun, is beyond three gunas. Now I'd like to point out here that these pathways are equated. Why they are equated to the river? The question is, why do you call it river? Like the river, these paths have a flow unique to themselves. They have unique flow. The Devata pathway has different flow. Ishwar pathway has different flow. Jeev having no power of his own because he has no powers, brought into the sansar according to his karma phal. He is brought in here because whatever karma we did, that's how we end up in sansar. Since he comes under the bondage of karma phal, he is in the flow of Devata path. See, the river which is Devata path has its own flow, its own power, its own activity in there. So you can momentum. So you cannot. You don't have. Jeev doesn't have to do anything. Jeev just goes in the flow, with the flow of that river. He has no choice. So that's why we call the pathway as a river. River has a flow. The flow of river is bounded. Now Devta river, Devta path, the flow is bounded by Devta Sarup. It's totally bound. It's not free flow. It's flowing according to Devta. In this path, the flow, Jeev is subject to the cycle of birth and death. Because this is the nature of Devta path. There will be multiple birth. You're born, you do your karma phal, and then you die again, and then again, and again, and again. So that is like a dead end river. It just goes around and around, and we have nothing else. Both of these events are painful. I don't have to explain, but birth is very painful and experience. We don't remember it, but I was listening to a radio program and they were explaining how the fetus is behaving and what kind of pain they get into. And it's very complicated. To get away from the cycle of birth and death definitely is painful. We all can vouch to that because we have seen it happen. To get this away from the cycle of birth and death forever, not for one life or two lives, but forever, is what moksha is. The river flowing to Ishwar leads to the state which is limitless, is totally boundless. There is no boundaries. That's why we call Ishwar Anant, has no end. It has been compared with an ocean. In Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says that. Like in the ocean, all the rivers empty into the ocean. But the ocean does not change. Ocean stays like ocean. Rivers will come in. So all these Devta rivers, they are all going in there and emptying into Ishwar. And Ishwar is just like Ishwar is. I have tried to depict the two rivers in a very crude drawing. And let's look at that. This river here is a straight line river. This is, I'll say, is Ishwar path. Other one goes around winding and it's got a lot of waterfalls, a lot of rocks and stuff, obstacles, stuff like this. And what I would suggest here, because this river is going straight, this is going in a winding way. Whenever this river comes closer to the Ishwar path, I'll call that Satogun, because the river has got all three gunas. Here, the primary guna active will be Satogun, because it's closest to Ishwar pathway. As it goes away from there, it enters into Rajogun, and then farthest away is Tamogun. So when the Jeev is in the state of Tamogun, under Tamogun, very difficult. No way is going to come and even think about Ishwar. It's in the Satogun part, that's when it's easy to think about. Now, if you look at other way, if I want to go from Devta river state to Ishwar state, I have to cross over, jump over, right? And to do that, I have to take the closest, whenever the distance is the closest. So it makes easier to go from this river or the Devta or the Karampal river into the Ishwar Marg when one is in Satogun. Huh? Tamogun, don't even occur to the person that there is something like Ishwar. They think they are Ishwar. That's the problem. So this is the way. I'll come to this later on in this talk. But remember that there is Satogun, Rajogun, Tamogun, and we want to jump from here to here. Now once you come into this river, Ishwar Marg, you must totally leave this one river. You see? You cannot be on both sides. And that's the key. And Gita teaches how to do that. Being here, you are not here. That's the Karma Yoga. If you are still thinking about this and you want to go, there's no way you're going to get there. You have to totally change ourselves. We do have to do that. And give up everything which belongs to this pathway. Because this is Trigun, this is Nirgun, they never mix. We cannot go from here to there unless we totally willing to totally let go of this. And that's what Gyan does. Gyan tells us that this river, which is Trigunatmak pathway, there's a cycle of birth and death and everything else, and Karam Phal, and it's all dead end. You just keep going around and around. We don't remember, but we're doing the same thing for ages. This river here is very peaceful. Here's a lot of ripples and obstacles, and here's very peaceful flow. It's like a sheet flow. You won't even feel anything, just beautiful, you're at peace. You can't be the path cannot be at peace when there's a lot of ripples and stones and rocks and falls, right? But this one here is smooth journey. Once you get on this path, the peace comes automatically, because that's the nature of the path. And you have given up all these thoughts which occur in the other side. So I hope it makes a little clear. We'll come to this later on. Now the question is, how do we get? How can one get to the state of moksha, from one river to the other river? For this, we'll look at three things. Number one, first of all other meanings of, there is another meaning of word Krishna. Crush has another meaning. And the other meaning is attraction, to attract. So first meaning we saw as a farmer, as a plow, right? And the other meaning is of the crush is to attract towards oneself. So Krishna is one who attracts Jeev to himself. So Ishwar attracts Jeev towards himself because there are many similarities between the two. Jeev and Ishwar, a lot of similarities. And I'll say here this, that in the physical world, the opposite attract. Correct? But in the spiritual world, I'll say the similar attract. There's like the saying goes, bird of feather flock together, right? So they are similar. So in a spiritual way, the entities which are similar to each other, they are the ones which will come together. But in the physical world, which is prapanch, jad, their opposite attracts. Also in chapter 8, slok 3, Bhagavan says that to elevate the existence of Jeev is what karma is. Arjuna asked him, what is karma? So the definition of karma he gave, bhoot bhav udbhav karo. That means Bhagavan says that to elevate the existence of Jeev is karma. So this is one factor. The second factor is, by design the creation consists of pair of opposites, which we call dvand. In all the creation, there is dvand all the time. In Trigunatma, there is dvand because there is more than one. In Ishwar, there is only one. Ishwar is only one. So there cannot be dvand. So with Devata Bhakti, some sort of Ishwar Bhakti can also happen. And the uniqueness of Ishwar Bhakti is that it keeps accumulating from one life to another. It never goes away because Ishwar is timeless. So time doesn't affect what we do in Ishwar Marg. So whatever we have done in this life for Ishwar will not go away. We'll keep. And next time we go more and more, and it keeps accumulating. And even with the little practice of Ishwar Bhakti, which is also called Karma Yoga, one is saved from terrible fear of birth and death. This is what Bhagavan Krishna says in 2nd chapter, 40th shlok. So even a little practice of Ishwar Bhakti, one is helped to ease on to the Ishwar path. Don't have to do a whole lot. Just do a little bit at a time. It will keep accumulating, and eventually your account will be so full that we'll just even think, well, let's jump. And we have the power to switch. The third factor is Bhagavan Krishna says. He says that devotees endowed with faith, what the condition of devotion is, must have faith, Shraddha, who worship other gods. Other gods mean Devatas. With some motive. Most people do Devata Bhakti with some motive, some hetu, some desire to get something. They worship me alone with the mistaken approach. They don't know, but even actually they are worshipping me because it is me, it is Ishwar who gives all the pulp. Here they worship Devata believing them to be Ishwar. So there is another angle here. Whichever Devata they worship, for them that Devata is their Ishwar. Like they say Bhagavan Vishnu. But we already seen what Bhagavan means. Vishnu is Devata, but to them it's Ishwar. Because they don't know, only thing they know is that's the one to worship. So even if one worships Devata, a little Ishwar Bhakti may occur with each action. So there are three factors. First one is attraction between Ishwar and Jeev. Second one is that there's Dvand in Sansar, so even with doing the Devata Bhakti, some Ishwar Bhakti will happen. And third one is those who do just the Devata Bhakti, they don't know, but their fruit of their action is coming from Ishwar, and they consider their Devata, their Ishta as their Ishwar. So looking at these three factors, sooner or later each one will get their turn to get on the path of Ishwar, the path leading to Ishwar. Sooner or later everybody is going to, Bhagavan Krishna said that in Gita too. Sooner or later you all going to come to me, he said. Those who get on this path, Ishwar tries to keep them on it. Once a person gets on that path, Ishwar likes to keep, doesn't want him to fall from there. Therefore, sooner or later, everyone will get moksha, the state of moksha. This is what hope is to me. That's what I call hope. And the element of hope is built into Gita by Bhagavan Krishna. Now, Gita is unique in that it not only provides hope, it has jnana and teaches us the way to perform action. There's one thing called hope, but according to Gita, we must act to get where we want, what we want to get. It's not going to happen otherwise. No magic like here. So it tells me the mankind how to live their lives. In this light, I would like to emphasize that the time to study Gita is between 40 and 65 years. If one can do this earlier, that's better yet. The rule is that time to enjoy worldly pleasure is also time to study Gita and get Gyan. Because that's when person has most energy level and can do, their brain is working nicely, everything is working great. Gita is our first scripture where both Gyan and the Karma are told. Here we are able to learn as to who we are. Why are we here? Where do we need to go? And how to get there. Karma Yoga is the art to follow the Gyan. Karma Yoga is an art. So Gita tells us as to what is the aim of our life in sansar. Gita tells us how to perform action and what we can get from karma. Therefore, it makes sense to arm ourselves with this knowledge while we are engaged in our worldly endeavor. Armed with the knowledge of Gita, one can fulfill their worldly responsibilities in the right way, achieving the best results for the Atma. Commentaries on Gita have been done for centuries. Everybody has just about written something or the other about Gita. It has been translated in many languages. However, Gita Shastra is so mysterious and secret that its true meaning is difficult to understand. It is because in this era, in Kali Yuga, the goal of human life has totally changed. It's not the same as it used to be. In our daily lives, there are strifes and difficulties. We have to overcome these difficulties and rise above. We can't say, well, this is happening, this is gonna... No, we can always rise above all the difficulties. This can be done when we keep from going after the fruit of our actions. Bhagavan says that you do your action and I will reward you with its fruit. If one pursues the result of the fruit of their action, they will make mistakes in their action, resulting in action performed incorrectly. Because their attention is divided, they are always thinking about the fruit, and there is no way they can concentrate fully on how to act, how to do something. As I've said before, the Eastern dharmas are totally different from the religions followed in the West. Those who are followers of the Judeo-Christian religions are unqualified to describe the dharmas of the East because they look at these dharma in ways other than spiritual terms. Therefore, I am suspicious of their commentaries. I was following it was following the after the following occupation of India by British. When missionaries started to convert Hindus into Christianity, several reactionary movements started. They sprung up in the 19th century. Swami Dayanand Saraswati started Arya Samaj. He said, Vedas are our scriptures. Then Dev Samaj came up and they said, Upanishads are our scripture. They follow Upanishad. Prarthana Samaj came up and they said they follow both of them, Vedas and Upanishads, but not Puran. Today's Hindu Dharma is Puranic Dharma. It's based on Puran. However, everyone gave importance to Bhagavad Gita, no matter which Dharma, everybody really gave importance to Bhagavad Gita. Tika, which is most important, and was written by Shripad Damodar Satavalekar. He was from the district Satara. He named his Tika as Purusharth Bodhini. Purusharth means you have to do action, do your Purusharth. With Bodhini means how to do it. In this, he said, Gita teaches us as to what man should do in sansara. Gita does not encourage one to become sannyasi. Arjun wanted to become one, but Bhagavan said that you must fight, do your dharma. It is my hope that this introduction will be of help to the viewers. Here our goal is to explain message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavan Krishna in a unique way. We are not going to follow the same path like everybody else has done, just translate and give. We want to discuss this in a language, in a way that people can easily understand and use it. So next time when we meet, we will start with chapter 1. Jai Sri Krishna.